I promise, guys, this game is more scary than EA logo for sure. Hello amazing people, welcome back once again to Out There Gamer. My name is Bernie and today I'll talk about Dead Space. And seriously guys, this game was amazing and it wouldn't be an Out There Gamer review without some outdated games, obviously. Even though Dead Space is a game from 2008 made by Visceral Games, still and holds up really nice, and it's one of those games you can get like super duper cheap, to the point that even EA gave this game for free for PC users, which is kind of crazy because usually EA it's not the type of developer you see like giving games for free, to be honest. The overall story of Dead Space is nothing really special, to be honest. It's about this ship named Ishimura that has been lost, and then your main protagonist named Isaac, which is an engineer, goes to this ship with his team to repair the ship and actually try to save people that is possibly there. But when they arrive there, they realize something it's weird on there, and this is something that you probably will guess it at the first time, like the first 5 minutes of the game, which is the fact that this ship is full of aliens. And this game actually, it's really inspired in a lot of aliens movies and whatnot. But the big twist of this story, though, I personally think it's the fact that Isaac believes that his girlfriend is inside of that ship, and obviously he wants to search every corner searching for his girlfriend. And this is one of the biggest twists in this game. It's to find out rather if your girlfriend is alive or not. It's not really repairing the ship, and in fact I think for most of the players who play this game can relate the fact that it's the girlfriend that would make you go forward on this story. Dead Space is a survivor action horror in the same vein as Resident Evil 4, in fact borrows many ideas from it. The linear progression with multiple paths, the inventory management, the upgradable weapons and gear, even the over-the-shoulder perspective, which is borrowed from Resident Evil. But sadly no stranger selling stuff.
Got something that might interest you.
But there's one small change though. This game is actually scary, but doesn't cheap out with jump scares. They use the power of sound effects to scare the player. They even made a special edition version with exclusive pants in case you get wet. Okay, that last one didn't happen. But all honestly, this game really nails it. Make the player really uncomfortable, and the atmosphere is great, especially if you play with headphones. I definitely recommend, if you are sadist like me and crazy enough, play this game with headphones. It really has to be the experience. Another very solid aspect in this game is the shooting. While most of the shooters, shooting in the hand is the most obvious thing to make more damage, in this game it's the limbs and the legs where you can deal more damage to the enemies. And it's a very interesting concept because these are the parts of the body that move the most. But to address the issue of aiming, enemies have very long legs, making hit them more easily. On top of that, the first weapon you get has a 3-way shooting gun, so it's easier to hit enemies.
But Bernie, that won't make the game too easy.
Well, good question. I thought that for the first hours of the game, where I had very healthy number of bullets and health items and many different weapons to choose from. But war changes, and so your supply of weapons does too. So the game gets more tighter when it comes to ammo and supplies and gets really hard. On top of that, there's different types of enemies that make you change your playstyle very often. And talking about the playstyle, there's also special abilities. These abilities will help Isaac both on his journey to solve puzzles but also on combat. The first ability that the game presents is the ability to slow down objects and enemies. The other ability is to be able to lift heavy objects using the force. Well, it's a very handful for both puzzle solving and the combat, to be honest. While I enjoy most of the gameplay mechanics and how levels were designed, there's something that really bothered me: the camera. While I understand why they make the camera close to the player to make the game more scary and not be able to see the enemies behind you, it doesn't make much sense on big open areas in my perspective, especially those areas that have low gravity and you have to jump around between places. It's really confusing and disorienting at the times. Another neat peak I have with this game is definitely the walk speed. While I understand the game gives you option for the player to run, but I have to say that running in this game is not really that safe, to be honest, and not just not safe, it's definitely very hard to control your character while he's running. And one of the problems is the fact that they make steering the character very heavy, and that's definitely something that really took me a little bit to get used to, especially on more tight situations where you are crawling with enemies. It's really hard to control your character, and I feel like it's a little bit heavy on the side. But again, this is something that you get used to. It's not something that really stuck to me like the whole game. It's something that initially I noticed that the game felt heavy. This game was such a nice surprise, especially considering this came from EA, which is usually the type of developer that I don't play their games, but this was a time that EA was really being different with so many types of different games. You had games like Mirror's Edge or games like Dante's Inferno. Like this time, EA was really being creative and being different when it comes to what type of games they would output to the market, and Dead Space is definitely one of them. Even though recycles a lot of ideas from Resident Evil 4 and whatnot, there's still a lot of things that it does it on its own, and it does it very well. The story, while minimal, had great twists, especially the ending that leaves a big question mark to the players. And you can get your virtual wet pencil simulator for your very affordable price these days on any last gen system, be it the Xbox 360, the PS3 or even the PC. There's plenty platforms to choose from. So that's all for today, kids. Again, thank you for watching, and before I go, I want to say one single thing. It's the fact that I already played Dead Space 2, so expect my review maybe next week. I don't know, depending how things go or not. But other than that, I'm not sure about Dead Space 3. I'm not sure if I want to ever play that game, even though I own on PC. Not sure if I'm going to play it. And other than that, another thing that I have to say, I will definitely play the Wii version of Dead Space Extraction. For those who don't know, Dead Space Extraction, it's a prequel to the first game, and it's a really interesting, different point of view, and it's a completely different game from a gameplay perspective because it's an on-rail shooter. So I'll definitely play that one as well. So guys, again, thank you for watching. See you guys next video.